So we're back for another VGC guide, and this time we're looking at Alola and Exeggutor. The comparison is obviously now going to be Hydrapple. They've got very similar special attack and speed, but the fact that Exeggutor can set Trick Room for itself completely sets it apart from Hydrapple. Like, Regenerator is nice and all that, but you're going to be able to set Trick Room for yourself. And then still, actually, threaten a sweep in Trick Room. With 125 special attack, and also both of your stab attacks being 130 base power, you're going to be able to OHKO a lot of things. Granted, you do drop your special attack when you get that OHKO, or that massive chip damage, but that's probably going to be enough to set yourself up for that sweep in Trick Room. Flamethrower gives you basically perfect coverage into everything that's not a Heatran, but otherwise, yeah, you're going to be able to cover a lot of things, you're going to be able to do a lot of damage. I don't think there's space for Protect on Alola and Exeggutor, because if you do drop one of them, then you drop either one of your really good stab moves or your coverage to be able to hit steel types. Life Orb is probably the best item on Exeggutor to enable you to get those OHKOs you wouldn't have got otherwise with your Lee Storm and Dracos, because they're still going to be pretty strong, but Life Orb will push it over the edge for KOs into a lot of Pokemon. Therefore, you don't need to harvest at all. Frisk is kind of useless in open team sheet format, except for working out speed tiers. Like, technically, Frisk is better than Harvest if you don't have a berry in open team sheet formats, purely because you'll be able to see, is this Incineroar going to intimidate before the Frisk? Probably won't matter because min speed, but, you know, we've been playing with Iron Hands that doesn't have an ability, so Exeggutor, it can get away without an ability as well. Fairy is the best defensive typing for it. It's going to be able to shrug off the Dragon type attacks that will be able to threaten big damage, like Raging Bolt is absolutely a thing now, so being able to turn yourself immune to those Dracos is going to be very nice, and you quad resist the electric type attacks if they were brave enough to try and call the Terra, and you just stay as your regular Grass Dragon. So, yeah, it's going to be able to get some good sweeps going, and is a very viable Trick Room setter in the format for sure. If you're committing to more of it being the actual Trick Room setter, and like it's dedicated, I will set up Trick Room with this Pokemon, then feel free to go with the Citrus Berry Harvest. Like, that is still a very good combination. You won't be doing as much damage as the Life Orb one, but it's still going to be able to bulk itself out, so like put more bulk into EVs here. Bulk into EVs? EVs into bulk is the sentence, that way round, so that you can survive a lot more things, and then Citrus Berry will be able to recover up with the Harvest. Also worth mentioning, it's now got Gravity. Gravity Sleep Powder, that's a really good combination, because Sleep Powder, it's like an objectively good move, annoyingly, because they're going to fall asleep for an average of 1.5 turns, so overall that is worth clicking. But also, you can now make it 100% accurate for yourself. It doesn't have to be something else clicking the Gravity. Like, this is the theme for, I guess, Alola and Exeggutor. It can do the thing itself, and set up itself, which is really nice. Like, it can set up the Gravity for its own Sleep Powder. It can set up the Trick Room for its own sweep. So, if this is probably going to be like a perfect 6th Mon on a team. This will be an absolutely viable Trick Room setter. There's a few of them in the format. This is like the only real grass Trick Room setter that you'd be really considering is Exeggutor, but it's gonna really fit onto some teams. It's gonna be quite hard to fit on the team, but when you find the perfect team for it, it's gonna be sweeping through a lot of teams.